Hope you're doing well. We had here in Danville area, because I know a lot of you are from other places that joined me on these mornings. We had really severe storms and lost power last night. Basically the whole city did for a while. Fortunately, on our end, we didn't lose it for very long. But the good thing about it was it made it a lot cooler. We have been having, like so much of the country, just hot days. And this morning's like the first halfway decent day in a long time. So I enjoyed that. I just wanted to share something with you really quickly. The book of James, one of my favorite books of the Bible, right at the beginning of it, almost right out of the gate. Hey, good morning, Roxanne. There's this promise that God makes that it would certainly be in the running for the greatest promise that God ever made. And it's a promise that almost nobody ever really takes advantage of or steps into. And the reason for it is because the price to activate the promise is admittedly really high, but the promise is stunning. And I'm going to show you this. So James in verse 2 of chapter 1 says, "My fellow believers, when it seems as though you're facing nothing but difficulties," I think the KJV is fiery trials. Good morning, Carol. Hi Sandra. When you're facing these difficulties all around you, he says, see it as an invaluable opportunity to experience the greatest joy that you can. Hi, Sammy. So right off the bat, it's a weird passage. I mean, when there's nothing but difficulty, he says, I want you to see it as a way. The KJV, says, count it all joy. Make a point of saying this is a joyful experience. It's just so counterintuitive. And then verse 3, for you know that when your faith is tested, and this is where it starts getting weird by way of being a promise. When your faith is tested, it stirs up power within you to endure all things. Now get this. And then when your faith is tested and all you see are obstacles, as your endurance grows even stronger, what's interesting there is it is the endurance mixed with your faith being tested. It's the two things. It's not just faith, it's enduring faith. It's staying faithful as you go for a long time in tough circumstances. Then, as your endurance grows even stronger, it will release, here's the promise, perfection into every part of your being until there is nothing missing and nothing lacking. That is a mind-blowing promise. I want to read that to you in a couple of different translations. So, for instance, in the New Living, brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. When your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, you'll be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Let me give it to you in one other translation out of the Amplified. Consider it nothing but joy, brothers and sisters, when you fall into a wide variety of trials. Be assured that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let that endurance have its perfect result and do a thorough work so you can be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking nothing. It's one of the most amazing promises in the Bible. He says, I will just complete you. I mean, you'll be like an amazing human being. Hi, Bill. But the thing here is you've got to have faith and you've got to have enduring faith, not just faith for a short time. Enduring faith. Man, God's been talking to me about that. With all of the sickness and the hardships that people in our church family are dealing with, things going on in our own lives and family, it has been something he's been talking to me a lot about. That enduring faith. Don't stop being faithful. Don't stop exercising faith. But then the other piece of that is, he says, I want you to count this all joy. So the challenge is, number one, have faith in God. Number two, keep on having faith and don't stop having faith. And number three, don't exercise your faith with gritted teeth like, oh, this stinks, I hate this, but I got to be faithful. No. Instead, look for ways into joy right in the middle of it all. He says you put those three things together and you wind up with a work of God in your life that I think very, very few people ever have really stepped into, because most of us don't want to pay that price. We don't want to endure. We don't want to be joyful when it hurts. We're willing to have some faith and exercise it for a while, but when it gets hard, we tend to back away. I just want to urge you today, take a few minutes on your own. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Meditate on that. Maybe meditate on it for the rest of the week. Chew on that some. Let that really get into you. Why can't we be people who actually step into that promise? We could be. It's there for us. And I got to wonder sometimes if God isn't saying, come on, how come so few of my children will take me up on this one? I want to be somebody who does. I really do. Hi, Robin. I want to be somebody who takes him up on that. So I just urge you to meditate on that. Pray for grace. Pray for understanding. Pray for strength. And let's be the people who have that enduring, joyful faith so that God can perfect us and complete us and do everything in us that he is longing to do. And actually, whether we know it or not, that we're longing for him to do. Anyway, I hope that's a blessing to you today. I hope you have a great rest of the week if I don't connect with you again, but I plan to be on with another one or two of these during the week. Have a great day, everybody.